Damn, son, where'd you find this? Rock with your boys.
I'm saying. Oh, I want to say shout out to your son too, because I've been following you for a long time. You know what I mean? And so I
Appreciate you.
always see you. I always see you post about your son. I always see you post about your little league, your friends or your like the athletes that you coached that grew up and that's going to college and going to the NFL. So I've been following you for a long time. So I want to say shout out to your son because I always would see that you would always be shouting out your
Appreciate
son
that.
and because me and my dad, like my dad started a little league. My dad and my uncles, they started a little league team in Pop Warner here locally too.
Hmm.
About like probably I don't know how long ago was that.
We're
Probably
coming up on the 25th anniversary now.
25th anniversary of
That's that's a beautiful thing.
the Oak Cliff Titans. So we got a lot of similarity. So when I followed you, I think I got you from Mark Holmes or Law Nation, one of
Hmm.
them. But it's been a while.
Hmm.
Like it's been a while. It's been a long time. It's been a lot of years. So we've been checking you out for a long time, and we just like I said, we just excited to finally do some content with you. It's kind of we've been wanting to do this for a long time, so we really appreciate you coming on and joining.
Yeah, so a
Well, like I said,
little bit about
go ahead, go
myself,
ahead.
big game.
Uh
So
huh.
I'm
Uh huh.
born and raised in Dallas, grew up in Oak Cliff. So my first experience with the Cowboys, I was 6 years old. I went to a game with my dad at the Cotton Bowl to see Bob Hayes. So that's how long I've been around. And of course, went to a lot of the
You're deep
games in
in.
the 90s. Yeah, went to a lot of the games in the 90s. Saw frontline, what good football looks like. And then my son, he's a fourth generation Cowboy fan. I'm third generation. So he talked me into getting into the content creating after I kind of watched you on with Boss Cowboy Sports, the final word, and of course, Mark Holmes. I didn't really know anything about any of you guys until my son started talking about it, and he wanted to start his channel. And at first, I didn't want to do it because I don't really
Hmm.
like being on camera, none of that. So I'm kind of like a just behind the scenes laid back guy. So the technology part, I told him, I said, we gonna do it. We gonna do it right. We gonna do it the honest way. We gonna do it with some integrity. And I got I come from a corporate background. I've been a project manager and all that. And so when I do things, I like to do it all the way and do it right. And so that's why I wanted to try to connect with yourself, Boss Cowboy, because you guys really like you're doing it the right way. You're doing it with integrity. You dug it out of the dirt. And then the other thing is, I just enjoy watching you guys. It's really a good time watching you guys and listen to you guys talk about the team. So that's kind of where we are. So we just getting started, trying to reach out to different people. Certainly, you one of the people that if I was building a Mount Rushmore of content creators, you would definitely be up there. So
No, for sure. And I always tell them because like I said, this is probably a few years ago, 3 years ago or so. But I'm like, I watch these guys. I watch Big Game James every single day. I'm like every time he posts something, I watch it every single
I
show.
mm-hmm,
appreciate that.
mm-hmm.
Mark Holmes the same way. That was what I was doing. Like literally, I wake up in the morning and then that's what I was doing. That was my so I felt like I knew y'all already. Because I'm watching y'all 24/7. I know everything about y'all that y'all put on YouTube. I watch it every day.
Hmm.
So, me and my dad, that's all we talk about is, Cowboys. That's literally what we do. That's what we talk about 24/7. So it's just like, we can be having these conversations, but on camera, and that's what this is, so
Right.
that's we might as well do the channel and we talk about it 24/7 instead of us spending
Right.
time on the phone. We might as well put it
Right.
on the internet because it's like-minded people out here that kind of think like we think, and like
Hmm.
Big Game James, you one of them.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we just bounce ideas off each other. So like I said, this is a big deal. I had some questions I wanted to ask you in particular. I'm trying to get back to them.
Okay.
Um, I think it was now. I wanted to know your perspective of what kind of offense does Schotty run because we know Eberflus runs like a 4-2-5, right? So
Hmm.
that's what he ran in Chicago. So we can kind of I know he's gonna change it up a little bit. I'm sure. I hope so. But what about Schotty though? What kind of offense do you think he's gonna run per se?
I mean, I personally think when you look at how they got Clayton Adams, He's the kind of guy that he likes to get his guys that are kind of athletic, be on the move, to be able to do a little more of the zone blocking. I think there's a lot of play action. I think that's what Dak's game really is. His game is really based on that. I think that's why they really want to emphasize the run game, and that's why they had the run game over there. If you look at Seattle, they did a lot of play action over there to really open up for Russell Wilson to really get out and be able to get his receivers going. But that run game really established that so his quarterback could be easy and to be able to come into his reads. I don't think it's the really the West Coast type where it's all predicated on the quarterback and the players making all the plays where okay, you have to make this play. I think it's going to be more a run dominated scheme, and I think it's going to be heavy play action, and I think that's where they're going to try to open up and go deep. But I think it's will be a lot of play action. When I see it, I think it's going to be a over the middle type game, a
Hmm.
short passing game. I don't see it being, in my opinion, I don't know if it's going to be explosive per se. If we're talking about the four receiver sets and seeing all that, I think it's going to be more predicated on we're going to run the game and run you into the ground and then get you to thinking that that's what it's going to be. And then we're going to base other type of formations out of that.